Let's deal now with these tag ends, these bits of strands that are hanging out past your end loop serving. Many people just trim those off, and to be honest, the amount of tension that's on those after it's on the bow, that's probably okay, but I'm a little psychotic, so I usually put a whip stitch in those. Now, two things that this does. First of all, it creates a mild ramp that allows an area for your serving thread to traverse down onto the strands. The second thing that it does is any tension that's put on those knots are simply going to keep your end serving loop tighter. So then after I've done this side, I'll do the same to this side. We have our end loop serving now complete. We need to put an end loop serving on this end. So we're simply going to reduce the tension and move this end to this end. You want to make sure that you keep your color strands separated, and that's where these strand separators come in handy. Now we're ready to apply our serving to this end. Okay, now we're going to apply the end serving loop on this end, and it's going to be the same technique. We'll lie this parallel to our strands and wrap over it 6 or 8 times. Now, unlike the other side, we're going to leave this bobbin intact. We need to rotate the bars around so that we can apply the rest of the end serving. To do that, I'm going to hold on tight to these guys. Well, take a little tension off here, make it easier. I'm going to hold on tight to these guys to hold this end serving in place, and I'm going to rotate this guy around. And then I'm going to use my strand separators to keep my 2 colors completely separate. And I'm going to remove this post. Okay, we have our posts rotated, and now I'm going to show you what we do to pull these 2 together. You simply wrap around there a couple of times and cinch it up tight. Okay, now before you put on the rest of your end serving, you're going to want to twist your string. We have our end serving loops done on both ends. We have our strand separators separating our colors. And before we start to put on the end serving of the string, we need to apply the appropriate number of twists. Now, this is a really short string, so it won't require nearly as many twists as a longer string will. And that information is available on Archery Talk, and some of the threads that are on there. Do a little research, you'll find out how many twists you should have per length of string. This one I think should be about 20 rotations. So to do that, I'm going to, again, reduce the tension on my string. And 20. Now, before you put too much tension back on this, you can remove your strand separators. And reapply your tension. Now there's one more step that we want to apply before we start putting in our end serving, and that is burnishing the string.